Good morning from beautiful, snowy Maine. We're here going to do a little online dating thing, and I had started originally this online dating, I don't know if you want to call it a series or whatever, or just some helpful things on online dating. I started to do a few videos about this, and it was going to be an ongoing thing. But what happened is that I've talked to some people, and we're going to film this more legitimately in a studio, and we're going to have, maybe the graphics and a backdrop and whatever, and have some uniformity to it, and it'll be better lit. It won't be at my house, and you won't, of course we're not going to get the visits from the cat that we get on these videos and whatever, but it'll be more of a streamlined thing, and something that it possibly could be marketed, or at least develop some kind of a following and be more professional. And so I've got the people that want to do that, and we're going to do it in a studio, and it'll be different. So I've held off on doing any of these videos, but there is one I wanted to do today, because I was talking to somebody that was doing online dating, and they had a little struggle with it, and it was about the process of the writing back and forth process to women. And what I told them is, I said that your biggest problem that you've got is that you're being impatient, and that it isn't in your email exchanges with women. On the surface, to you, it's what you write. It's what am I saying? Was I clever? Was I charming? Did I make her laugh? Did I do whatever? And you're looking at the substance. And the reality is, in this process, and with dating in general with women, it's important to know when to not do things as well. And being impatient and being, too forceful is the problem. I try to tell him that it's kind of like, it's like in football. You need to know when to not throw the football. Tom Brady knows when to throw it away, when to, just take the sack. There's times where inaction is important. Race car driver, it's important to know when to mash the gas, but it's equally important knowing when to let off the throttle. And that's where a lot of people get into a lot of trouble too. So it's a give and take process, and in relationships especially, you need to know when to back off, when to give space, when to let up. And I had this problem for years. I suffered with this forever. It was my number one thing. I never knew when to just give things a break, and when walking away was okay. I've learned a few things, and what I've learned, especially in the email process with online dating, is that is the paramount thing. The number one thing you need to know isn't how to construct an email. It's pretty much be simple. Be yourself, be decent or whatever, but give it time. Women receive thousands, literally thousands of emails in a month with online dating. They are inundated. They have a stack that they need to go through, and when you write an email and you send it out and you haven't heard anything in a day or two, and you're like, what the hell, why did you write me back, or what are you, a snob? They maybe didn't even see it. That's how bad it is for women. Or they may already have 5 dates lined up. A beautiful woman gets buried with correspondence with online dating. And you need to be able to just relax and let it come. I've written emails to women before, and I've heard from them 2 weeks later, and you're like, oh wow, okay, she actually did get it. You need to be decent about it. You need to be patient. Let people live their lives. Let them do their things. And the number one reason for that is because that is your test to women. It isn't what you directly do that women evaluate all of the time. It's the other things that they use. And women love to test patience, because impatience with women can be a dangerous thing. That's how creepy stalkers develop. Women wonder, if I ever break up with this guy, what's he going to be like? Is he going to be clingy and needy? Is he kind of, women project and they look ahead. A person that's needy and clingy and that wants attention all the time and that demands, things to happen at a faster pace can wind up being a date rapist. They're people they're not patient. And with online dating, if a woman gets a forceful guy, and that guy is like, why didn't you email me back? What's going on? Why don't we have another date? Why don't we? Then if they have that well, gimme, 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 when are we doing this, whatever, and that approach, that's scary to women. Women want things to be at their pace. They need time to think. They need time to miss somebody. They need time to just relax and digest their thoughts, talk to their girlfriends about you and all of that. And if a guy's right on there, and I've done this, I'm not criticizing people. I'm not saying I'm the de facto standard. I learned my lesson, but women that hear this all of the time and want, where's the next text, where's the next phone call, what are we doing Friday, well, what are you doing, in the middle of the date that you're on, you're already asking when they're going to have the next date. When you do those things, that's the best way to push a woman away, and they hate men like that. So when you have correspondence with a woman with online dating and you're emailing, she is going to evaluate your persistence with the emails, your patience with her replies. It isn't so much about what you say in the emails, that it's, I'll give you, you nerds out there, give you a great example of what this is. Star Trek nerds, hear me out. In Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, the original movie, and in the remake with Chris Pine in 2009, the new one that everybody went and saw, there was a test in that movie where they simulate a battle. And in the battle, they get their butt kicked in the battle. It's a no-win scenario. The actual test and how they did on the test and how many Klingons they blew up and whether or not they saved the ship or whatever, which come to find out you never can, it wasn't about how well you did in the fight. It was how well you responded to the test. And that's what women will do. The emailing back and forth and then a woman not emailing you for 3 or 4 days, that's a test. They're evaluating your actions as well. They're not just evaluating what you tell them. I'm Bob and I'm great and I lift weights and I'm a good guy and I whatever. They're evaluating how does Bob interact with me. So when you email and you're impatient and you criticize women who don't email you back right away, or you send 3 emails to their one and don't even let them get a time to digest or read other emails or do their thing, if you show that you're an impatient person, they're going to project that you're that way in real life and that you're an impatient person to date, which also can be neediness, clinginess, it can be the whole gamut of insecure guy things that women hate. So when you're doing your email process, remember that. That is the number one thing. If they don't respond to you, then they don't respond to you, and there's nothing you can do about that. They may never see it. But if you pass judgment and then you speak out and you say, oh yeah, well you didn't, whatever, the girl never even got the email in the first place, or it's in her stack and she hasn't read it, or she had some things going on in her life and she hasn't been tending to her online stuff, and you rip her a new asshole because she didn't reply back, you're out. You're gone. You need to know when to take the pitch and not swing and just give it time. So that's my number one thing. Now we're going to be doing these things a lot better than this, and I'll probably cover this again, but we're going to do a multi-part series on online dating. But I just wanted to get that out there because I've talked to a few people, but this guy in general I was having lunch with told me that, oh, I did that online dating, they're snobs and whatever. And it's like, no, you're actually pressuring them by the sounds of it. So anyway, when you're doing your dating thing, mind your patience with women. That is they read that. They want to feel you out. And how you respond in texting and in emailing is going to be indicative of how you are as a person. And patience is the number one thing with women that you need to learn. And in relationships, cannot pound that home enough. So have fun dating and go out and shovel your snow, Mainers. This is getting ridiculous.